There are over 16,000 radio stations in the United States. 4 digits and 4 letters can become one of those 16,000 and change the trajectory of a program and many lives. In 2025, that impact became real. Those 4 digits and letters? 100.3 KMUL. This is the rise of KMUL. The story begins many years ago with an original station at the University of Central Missouri.
KTBG, The Bridge, was a public radio station here on campus. A number of years ago, the university decided that financially it was better not to have its own radio station and be funding its own radio station. And so it sold the station to KCPT up in Kansas City.
No FM station created a void that students had the desire to fill.
We had an audio concentration and we taught radio classes, and we didn't have a radio station.
The radio club was the original emphasis and development for our online radio station. The students were, just really begging for it.
The dean said, well, as long as you take responsibility, if there's any issue, I'll sign off. And we're like, yeah, we'll take the responsibility. He signed off, and UCM Radio, The Beat, was born.
With a student radio station back at the University of Central Missouri, students were not satisfied with just an online station. They had their eyes set on the FM dial, which, if even possible, would be a long process.
Well, 2013 was the last time they offered a low-power FM license, and they weren't expecting to do any for a while. And then in the fall of 2023, I got to looking online, and I was like, I haven't looked in a while, let me see if they're opening the window, and lo and behold, they had opened the window. And I was very naive. And I'm like, well, we already have a station. We're already up and running. We're already programming 24/7. We have a student governing board. We've already hired students to be news director and sports director and promotion. We've already got this rolling. That didn't matter.
The speed of federal government is amazingly slow, and it doesn't matter which party's in control of anything. It's just amazingly slow.
Took 2 years going through some process there.
The way you get an FM station is based on a 3-level criteria. And you want to get as many 3s as possible. We got 9 out of 12.
After those 2 years of waiting, that 9 out of 12 did the trick.
And voila, this summer we got the go-ahead and we're able to get rolling. And now we have 100.3 KMUL, The Mule.
Oh, that's been a long time in the making.
With the go-ahead from the FCC, the technical side had to become a focus.
I was tasked with figuring out what equipment was going to be necessary to get us on air. So that included the transmitter itself, pretty important piece, the antenna that actually does the transmitting, and then an EAS machine, emergency alert system, which is required by federal government. We were very fortunate that KMOS was doing some work on the tower that's on top of our building, and they actually installed the antenna for us. Once that was done, I populated the rack with the equipment that we got and flipped the switch, and we were on air.
With the flip of a switch, a new era began for UCM student radio.
It feels more real now. We not that it wasn't real beforehand, but switching to the FM has just made everything, feel real, like we're actually doing it.
But I think to be able to say that you worked and produced a radio show and you were a host of a radio show is invaluable for an employer to see that you already have that skill set.
Not that the beat beforehand wasn't anything awesome, but having to show that we're a real FM dial, FM station that's dealing with entities like the FCC and other things around campus and the community, just feel like it brings a little more professionalism into it.
In addition to the professionalism, KMUL gives students a platform to get real-world experience that will translate beyond college.
If you want to go to college and you want to study radio and podcasting or broadcast journalism or sportscasting or something along those lines, and that university does not have a radio station, don't go to that university.
I'm a big believer that real-world experiences are what's going to help our students.
I honestly think part of journalism is really just learning how valuable it is to just be in the environment and experience it with the people.
You've heard me say practice your craft. It broadens the student's experience. And that's what the whole radio station does.
If you want to work in this industry, if you don't get hands-on experience, in college, you're not going to get that chance. You know, if you want to go get an internship at a radio station, if you haven't worked on your college radio station, they're not going to bring you in.
The hands-on experience that KMUL provides also gives students a chance to get involved in radio for the first time, and could even change the trajectory of students' lives.
So when coming to UCM, being a part of radio, something that I'd super considered. I had an interest in it. I think, the DMP people were very much like, oh, come get involved, come join this thing. And I'm like, oh, this is really cool. I feel like welcomed.
Having the reason, which KMUL is my reason to get out and do things, having that reason for me to push past what I was, anxious about or worried about has been helping me to, branch out and do things I maybe wouldn't have done otherwise.
With the many opportunities for students to grow, there is much excitement around the addition of the FM dial.
But saying that while I did that, I was also working in the industry, because that's what you are. You're working in the industry if you're working with KMUL, because we have this radio station.
It's really has something for everybody. We're covering local sports, we're covering local news that's happening throughout the entire Johnson County, as well as the city of Warrensburg, Knobnoster, Centerview, here on campus. We just have a lot for just everybody. So if you don't like that song, hang on. You're probably going to like the next one, because we play it all.
I think it's really important to have timely, accurate, up-to-date coverage for things going on. Journalism is really important, and I'm really glad that I get to do this here.
Yeah, you can get there from here. You can absolutely get to that professional level and get to some of those great jobs by training here at the University of Central Missouri, because we are a hands-on program, because we push you from day one.
Radio is really cool and special to me. I'm very, very happy to have it. I've made a lot of friends through different projects that I've been a part of. There's so much that you can do with radio that I think it's a very nice thing to have.
100.3 KMUL, one of over 16,000. Just 4 digits and 4 letters that were the result of persistence. A showcase that never taking no for an answer can truly pay off. Except maybe it can be acceptable at the end of an interview. Anything else I should know that I haven't touched on?
No.
Guess it makes a good interview, huh?